Welcome into the Josh Sadler Show. We hope you're enjoying your day, whenever you might be listening to the show. Got Granbury Pirates up tonight, man.
Yes, sir.
Going to take over the pirate ship, huh?
Well, I just hope we can go up there and play well. But we're headed to Granbury, that's for sure. Pirate Stadium.
Yep.
And it's their homecoming.
Don't you love to be homecoming spoilers?
Love it. I wish everybody had schedules for homecoming. I mean, it's just it's one of those things. It's just a little bit of bulletin board material.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of fun. Fun.
Absolutely.
We had the off week last week. You got to go out and scout a little bit, watch the kids here and there, and of course work with your kids on refining your offense and defense, getting some kids healthy. How'd it go?
Well, I mean, everybody talks about trying to get healthy in the off week. We actually kind of took a different approach. We were way more physical in the off week because we're trying to, get our kids sharpened up for what's coming. We've got a stretch of 7 games coming, and we don't have any cupcakes in that schedule. We're going to have to get our kids ready to play football every single week, and there's not a week off in there that we can think for 1 second that we can just, show up and somebody's going to lay over and give us a dub. So, we had to make sure during the off week that we got our kids to understand that it's not about who's on the other sideline. It's about us. It's about us taking care of us and making sure that we're the best football team that we can be on any given day.
Yeah, and I was doing your stats on the show Tuesday night, and you look pretty good across the board with your offense, defense, right up there at the top, towards the top.
I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done. I mean, we've still got to get better at swarming to the football and defense. And then offensively, we've got to push the ball down the field vertically. We've got to do a better job, up front of making sure that we can get the 4 seconds needed to push the ball down the field. And that's just something that we focused a lot on in the off week is, trying to make sure we can pursue the football, make sure we can protect long enough to get the ball down the field vertically. It's a big part of what we do and how we're going to be able to move from here.
And Roderick's getting better each week, isn't
he? He is. He's doing a great job. What I'm most impressed with him is effort. He took a couple of shots against Cleveland just simply because of effort. I'm sitting over there screaming to go out of bounds, but he's trying to go get 2 or 3 extra yards. He's already got the first down, but then he's thinking, well, if I cut back inside, maybe I could break a tackle and go to the house. And for a quarterback, us old coaches, especially us old quarterback coaches, kind of start cringing when we see that. We want him to just duck out of bounds or throw it down the field, maybe throw it out of bounds. But you can't fault a kid who's absolutely giving you everything that he can. He's giving you 100% effort, max effort in that process. Just hopefully, him watching those shots that he took, he learns a little bit so he doesn't have to take those shots, in the next game that we play.
And your receivers?
Receivers did a great job. We're catching the football. We're getting open. It's about finding them and getting it to them a lot of times. We've had guys running down the field by themselves a couple of times, haven't been able to get the football there. So it's about protection. It's about making sure we get the football to them. But they're doing a good job. And the thing I'm most impressed with our receivers about is their blocking. Their downfield blocking. They're doing a great job this year of staying connected to defenders and making sure that our running backs and other receivers who catch short passes can, get down the field and get some of those extra yards, those yak yards, so to speak.
Yeah, and the running backs, of course, do a very good job also.
Yeah, Corday and Gennari are doing a great job. They've been able to find the creases and get skinny in certain situations and make sure we get those yards that we need. And so they're doing a great job back there. And hopefully we can continue on.
Yeah, I was reading about Corday Hicks last night. He's got some great yardage this year. I think he's averaging almost 9 yards a carry, something like that. And I was just watching him play, determination, running. He just keeps his head down, keeps those legs churning just like you want him to.
Yeah, and he's done a great job. And the funny thing about it is I still think he's got a lot left in the tank. I still think he's got a lot left to show. There's no surprise to me that he's doing a great job right now. I saw it in him last year. It's just he needed opportunity. And now that he has the opportunity, it's about how much he maximizes that opportunity. Does he push himself in the weight room and get those extra reps so that he can make himself just that much stronger so that he can get through that hole or break that arm tackle? Does he work that much harder in practice so that he can see that crease that he needs to see? That he's going full speed so that he can see it. A lot of guys, a lot of young running backs in high school, especially the guys that are the dudes.
Right.
They in practice they kind of coast through practice, just making sure they get what they need out of it. But in Carday's case, and even Janari too, they're both very talented running backs. But they've got to make sure that they press themselves every single day to find each little bitty piece that can make them better. And that's what I charged him with this week was, hey man, you've done a great job, but can you be better? Can you find those little things that will make you that much better? And the thing about it is both of them are just juniors. Yeah. So, we've still got another solid year with them after this one. And so I'm excited to see, how both of them blossom. Yeah, because they're going to be a tough two-headed monster to deal with. There's no doubt about it.
And, of course, your offense and defensive line has done a great job this year. Your defense has done great, phenomenal.
Yeah, and we've been very fortunate up front. Deshaun McHenry, Kelton Adair, Sammy Hernandez. They've done a great job up front. I keep saying Sammy Rodriguez. I've coached about 4 different Sammys, and Sammy's caught me every time I've said it. But Sammy Hernandez. But yeah, they have taken care of the interior so that our linebackers, Gayam Taylor and Demirte Hemphill, and those guys can fly to the football. We had some problems against Stony Point with our edges. We were giving up the D gap, so to speak. And we worked real hard, for Cleveland to make sure we clean that up. And Cameron Blocker and Caden Harper and those guys did a great job of making sure that we secured the D gap and we made sure that everything was secure on the edges. But then, you look in the secondary and you say, okay, well, how are we covering guys? Well, we're doing a pretty decent job. We're going to get better at it. Yeah. We've still got some bad eyes in certain situations because we have played a lot of teams that are very run heavy. So we'll look in the backfield a couple of times and somebody will slip behind us. And hopefully, over the course of time, we're going to get a lot better at that. But, those guys back there, Ja'Sean Payton, Jason Davis, Ford, all those guys are doing a great job of really buying into what we're doing back there and making sure that we're flowing where we need to flow. And like last week against Cleveland, I think Ja'Sean had 13 tackles, 12 of them in solo tackles. So, we're doing some great things on the defensive side. We just got to make sure we swarm the football a little bit better.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of those stats last night or Tuesday night on the show for sure. Well, the Pirates, what are we looking for?
Well, they're triple option on offense, which is tough to stop.
Watching the video here in the office, it's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, you got dive quarterback pitch responsibilities. It's a disciplined type style of offense, and it takes a disciplined style of defense to stop them. So we've got to make sure our defense is zoned into, I've got the dive, this guy's got the quarterback, this guy's got the pitch.
Job assignments.
It's assignment football.
Yeah. And
everybody's got to do their assignment, and they have to tackle well. Because a lot of times your assignment is the only guy that's on that particular piece of it, and you can't miss. So this week has been a lot about assignment. It's been a lot about making sure we secure tackles and squeeze. So it's going to be very important for us to make sure that we take care of our job. Do your job. It's kind of been one of those things that's been a theme this week. Just do your job. We're worried about everybody else. You've got to do your piece of the pie in order to make sure we get everything taken care of.
Yep, and we want to come away with that victory tonight, so we have to stop their offense for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, for us offensively, we just got to make sure that we, hang on the football like we're supposed to.
Right.
Take our shots when they're there and do a great job up front. Our 5 guys up front, Deonjay, Jonah, Torrey, Marco, and Max got them all this time. I apologize to those guys last week because I told them, I said, I had a brain fart. I just had a brain fart, guys.
And they're not written down anywhere either, folks.
But, those 5 guys have got to control the line of scrimmage. They have got to make sure that we have our assignments taken care of. We got to get movement off the line of scrimmage, contain that 18 inches of space that we need to secure running lanes and get after them up front. I would love to be able to see us run the football a lot against Granbury. So I'm hoping that our 5 guys up front can take care of that for us.
Yeah, getting that 2-0 district record would be wonderful, especially like you said, you're going into the real meat of your schedule, so getting those wins up front is definitely something the Roos want to do.
Well, every win is a hot commodity. Every one of them matters, and every one of them is important, and there's no one bigger or more important than Granbury, right now. Everybody talks about the big 3 or the big 4 in our district and having to win those games and all that, and I didn't go scout anybody but Granbury in the off week. I'm not worried about anybody but Granbury right now. And I listen to the head coaches talk about, well, we've seen you guys on film. I'm like, we don't play you for 5 weeks. Why are you watching our film? I can't do that personally. I'm
Right.
one of those guys that, I mean, I have to focus my attention solely on the people that are at hand, because I've been in that situation before where you take somebody for granted and they slip up and beat you when they're not supposed to. And that's something that I stress to our guys every single day. Okay, it's not about who our opponent is. Quit worrying about that. Quit worrying about whether you think they're good or bad or indifferent. Make sure that you take care of your business every single day. Put your best foot forward, and let's go do what we can to win a football game on Friday night.
Yeah, because those kids are also on the other sideline. They came there for the same reason. They didn't come there to lose either. So
No, sir, they did not, and they're going to give us everything that they have. It's like I told our kids, you know, we're playing better football now than we have in a long time, and it's not a secret anymore. You know, people know that we can play the game a little bit, so it puts a bigger target on our back, and people, when they walk onto the field with us, they're going to give us everything that they got. So, you know, we've got to make sure we're prepared every single week, no matter who the opponent is, to go out and give them everything we have to help ourselves, you know, have a chance to win a football game.
Well, wish you good luck, and come back with the pirate flag, will you?
Well, I'm not going to take anything from them. But I just hope we go up there and play well, and we can come home with a win. That's for sure.
That's kind of what I get. Just go in there and capture the Pirates, if nothing else.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
All right, good luck, buddy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Dan. Go Roos.
You are watching I-14 Sports Network.